Hi friends. I'm still not feeling well. Surprise, surprise. Um, but I thought I'd come on and today is my son's 44th birthday. He died in 1990. He was born in 1979. And so every year I try to celebrate his birthday with something little. Um, so today I did post on Facebook, which I usually do, and my husband bought me some flowers because he just does things like that. He said he knew that I was probably having a difficult day, so he bought me some pretty flowers. It's very kind of him, very sweet of him to do. A lot of people know that my son died when he was 10 years old. My daughter accidentally shot and killed him. My first husband, their father, had a bunch of friends over at our house with a bunch of guns. I had no idea he was going to do this, and my daughter got a hold of a handgun and went to ask my son how to use it. And when she got in front of him, she figured out how to use it, and it went off, and it shot him through the left eye. It ricocheted off his temple and went kitty corner through his brainstem. Because he was so young and healthy, he didn't die immediately. He hung in there for about 6 hours, I think it was. We asked the doctors to disconnect him from the life support because it was obvious that he wasn't going to survive. So they disconnected him, and he was my firstborn. He was just the sweetest young man, very kind. I used to receive phone calls from my daughter's teachers that she was a handful, and I knew she was a handful because she was a handful at home. But she would flip tables over and scream and yell and throw things around the room and kick and hit and punch other students, and just screaming and yelling and yeah. So the teachers would call me and tell me that I needed to come in and calm her down and possibly even have to take her home. My son, on the other hand, the only time I ever got a phone call about him was to tell me what a wonderful, loving, kind, decent young man he was, and that he was playing social worker to some children whose parents were getting a divorce, and the children were feeling alone and ostracized, and didn't have anyone to turn to, and my son was their best friend. And when my son died, when we had his funeral, we belonged to a big church. I mean, it was a big church, and the church itself held a lot of people. And then down in the basement, it was a full basement, and that held a lot of people. But So the church itself was full, the basement was full, and there was overflow into the Sunday school chapel and Sunday school. And there were people just coming out of the woodworks. There were kids everywhere from kindergarten to senior high. My son was a 4th grader at the time. And there were kids coming up to us and telling us how, even seniors, how he was their best friend, how he had helped them with this or that, or, you know, he was just the most wonderful kid that they knew. And the funny thing is, about a week before he died, he came to me and he said he didn't think he had any friends. Yeah. He felt very alone and unsupported because the other kids never went to him. He had to go to them, and then after he had gone to them and help them, they didn't always come back to him, and he couldn't understand that. You know, now as adults, we get it, that those kids didn't feel worthy either, and that they were going through such hard times, and they didn't feel they had anything to give. So when he was able to give them love and support and kindness, they didn't feel like they could go back to him over and over and over because, you know, I can't explain it in words, but I think you understand what I mean. We humans are weird, but my son was just the sweetest, kindest, most gentle young man. And so I wanted to make this video today to honor him and just to let him know that even though he's been gone 34 years, I haven't forgotten him. I love him with all of my heart, and he is a very beautiful soul. So I guess that's all I have to say. So blessings, love, light, namaste. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.